Welcome back to another episode of Camp Time is Real Time. My name is Sarah Lebrecq. I am your host, and this is the Week 6 recap. This was the final week of camp, and boy, did they jam a lot of stuff in it. I just want to take this opportunity to thank, once again, the staff at camp for an absolutely wonderful year. My kids had so much fun. It's all they talked about. Their personalities have changed. They've been emulating their counselors. They've been acting with kindness. They've been cheering for the head counselors. It really has been great. So this is the final recap of the 2022 season of the 50th year. We'll hear from Ty. We'll hear from Aiden and Quinn. And that'll do it for our recaps. Now, moving forward, do we have some more camp content coming? We sure do. We've got a recap of the reunion, and then we have a bunch of episodes with all of your favorite counselors. So we are not going anywhere. There may be a short hiatus while I prepare for school or prepare to get the kids ready for school, but we're not going anywhere because there's too much to talk about at camp all the time. So they're back, guys. My pleas for you to come on and talk about camp. If you are someone who is at camp, if you're not, if you're one of my just regular listeners, tell me why you keep listening. But if you were at camp, come on and talk to me. Let's talk about it. It'll be great. I talked to a few of you at the reunion. You know who you are. I will love to talk to you. Let's make it happen. So that's it. But for now, enjoy this last moment of the summer of 2022. Let's hear from Ty. And you guys have a great start of the school year.
Hello, FCDC listeners and listeners of the pod. Camp Time is the real time. This is Ty Friedman, and I'm here to do the last week 6 recap of summer camp because we are done, baby. Day is done. But it was still an epic, exciting week. It always is a great last week. We started off Monday strong. We brought the food relay back. I love the food relay because it brings relatives together, and usually you get to see campers and like their fathers, campers and their sisters, and their brothers or sisters, nieces and nephews and uncles, all fun stuff. And you got to see them do the relays. If you aren't familiar, they have to start off by passing along a grapefruit through the neck, a egg by the elbows, and then this time, a cucumber through the knees. And then they have to go around, do a dizzy bat, jump on a balloon, and ride back until the queen of each one queen or king, I guess this time, has to empty out 2 whipped cream cans into all of the remaining players' mouths. It was the heads freeze dance. In the end, it was an epic heads freeze dance. You know, we know how it's done. And we did, in the end, it was Mike, myself, and Freddie who made it to the finals. Tuesday, we had an Olympic dive competition. This was our big belly flop competition of the year. They made it different this year. There was 3 competitors, and they had to do 3 dives each. They had to do a dive, as in Grace. They had to do a cannonball, and then a belly flop for power. And in the end, it was a Pansiaco win. Mary Pansiaco, Freddie, and Callie all were in it. Mary Pansiaco had a perfect score for the cannonball. Freddie had a perfect score for the belly flop. But Mary comes from a long line of belly flop winners and competitors. All of her sisters has done it, and of course, John Pansiaco is famous for his incredible belly flop that he had to prepare for over 30 minutes in just to really visualize and make happen. Epic. That was such a good day. And Tuesday we had our cookouts. It was our last cookouts. It was smelling delicious in the woods. Everything seemed to go really well. I'll tell you, the Beavers, my troop, we had a Hawaiian luau, so we had Polynesian chicken, coconut rice, grilled pineapple and some sesame seaweed salad with some scorpion bowls, which was, don't worry, it was just juice with sherbet in it. And that was a really fun day. Wednesday was our freeze finals. It was all the competitors, the CIT winners, the assistant winners, and the heads winners. And then at the last moment, Sam looked in the bylaws of camp and realized that there is a stipulation where a floater, in this case, Elizabeth Panciaco, being a floater, is able to enter the competition if they are A, I think it was a swim counselor, which she is not, or B, is a floater and is going to be student body president of her class, which she just happens to be. So my goodness, she made it into the finals, and in the end, she won the whole thing. Of course she did. Of course she did. And you know what? After those 3 tries, she deserved the win. Always a great thing to see a Panciaco win. Thursday, as you know, it all led down to the big battle. Now, I don't know about you, but I've competed in the battle a bunch of times, and honestly, I don't like the way that I act in it. I get so aggressive. I can't help myself. And so we've introduced a new penalty box, and I'm disappointed to say that I was very quickly put in that penalty box. So I apologize to all assistants who I may have accidentally dunked a couple of times. I think there was 5 of you. We had an epic... in the end, of course, it was CITs versus the assistants. The assistants got to the next round. Then it was the assistants versus the heads. The heads did take the win, of course. And it was an epic counselor competition year. I loved going back to CITs, assistants, and counselors. You really got to see more people participate within it, and you had more... and it was really great to see some of those CITs step up for coaching purposes and putting the lineup together. Thursday, we also had a really epic sing, and it was an extra long one. It was the last sing. The Cubs this year, one of the things this year that happens is the jokes and riddles. There's been this one riddle that starts with, there are 3 doors. Well, the Cubs this year, there must have been 3 of them who went up and told the same riddle, but each one got better and better, and we cheered louder and louder for each one, and they were just loving all the reception that they were getting as we were all trying to figure out what happens in those 3 doors, if there was a vampire alligator in there or an alligator ghost, and which door to pick for that. There was one point that I thought that just kind of encapsulates something that can happen at Sing. One of a little boy went up and he wanted to do a dance to Fireball, but we didn't have it prepared. And so then he sat down a little bit sad. And then we ended up finding the Fireball. This is a dance by Pitbull, I believe. And we ended up just standing. Everyone in the whole camp stood up and had a giant dance party. And it just erupted so naturally. There was no one saying, everybody up. It was just a natural occurrence. We were so in sync at that moment. And it was an epic dance party. People were having so much fun dancing around with their troops, all the kids, all the counselors. I couldn't have had a better time. Thursday, there was I guess this is kind of like just a inside baseball. We have this really great CIT this year named Xander who has autism, and he did a reading for the junior camp where he dressed up as a Gruffalo, and he had to do a lot of practicing in order to do it, but he did a fantastic job using different voices, playing different characters, and showing the pictures in all the right spots. And I just want to shout that out because it's a really special thing that we're having him be a CIT this year, and he was my CIT this year in the Beaver Troop, and I slipped a moment with all the Beavers. I said, it's pretty cool that we have Xander as our CIT. And everyone is just like, yes, he's so fun and so cool. It's really neat that he gets to be here too with all of us. And then Thursday, we also had the Dancing with the Stars finals, and this was a spectacular show. These competitors were practicing week after week after week, trying to like really perfect their dance. There was Paige and Callie who did a dance to One Stop Ahead of the Bread Line from Aladdin, and then Eli and Tommy, they did a dance to He's a Maniac, and it was kind of an homage to Flashdance. They were so well done. Paige and Callie, they both are dancers in their outside life, and they put on a Broadway show, like a full-on perspective changes, costume changes, smoke machines, and their dance moves were unbelievable. And I mean, you couldn't believe how they set it up. They've both been to the Ty Friedman School of Theater during FCDC, and for me personally, I saw a lot of really awesome moments that I kind of would put into my skits, and it's really exciting to see how these CITs grew. But then Eli and Tommy also did just an unbelievable job. I don't think it comes as easy to them, but they commanded the stage. They were able to take silent moments, quiet moments, and then turn them into big dances. The choreography was great. The Arts Coalition, as you all know, I am the chairman of the Arts Coalition. That's me of theater. We have the manipulative arts of ceramics and arts and crafts, and then we also have woodworking and the video counselors and music as in the performative arts. And we had to do our judging. In the end, it became a stalemate with a one person making the final decision. And in the end, Paige and Callie did take it. But everyone was just so epically great. I'm so proud of these CITs who just, I watched them grow up. A lot of them were my own campers from when I first came back. And to see them like really take the cake, really like take up the challenge and do well. And I was just really excited to see it. Friday, of course, we started the day off with the final pig off. As you know, if you participate in an eating competition and you win, you get to be in a final pig off against the man himself, the pig, Billy. Billy has been a winner of the pig off for the last 12 years. Facing against him this year was Freddie and Colby, who had done it in the past, and now adding in assistant Brendan. And this year we had to eat the beaver tails. It was a final done by Watermelon. Billy, of course, took it. He came out in this like crazy pig suit this year that has like a fan inside, so it blew up. It was so funny. He did the whole competition in that pig suit. Very, very great. It was such a fun moment. There was the video, which was one of the best videos of the summer. There was some really hilarious skits and sketches and more, and Fink did such a great job. There was some great music videos in there that really kind of, gave you a little tear jerk in the end. And there was some really funny sketches this time. But, yeah, and then, of course, we had our talent show. Elizabeth Panciaco and Caitlin Panciaco hosted the talent show. Elizabeth was Queen Elizabeth, and Caitlin was her tour guide, and she gave a tour guide through the different acts of FCDC. There were some epic ones. I had this one beaver. He is a really good fisher, and so at the beginning of the talent show, he started fishing, and then every time he would catch a fish, he would come running out and show everybody, I got a fish. And then the whole audience would yell, fish, 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 fish. And he would come out and at first it was a tiny fish, and then it was a bigger fish, and then it was 3 fish. In the end, and then it was a CIT, and in the end there was 9 fish caught, which is pretty epic, as you don't really see very much fishing done inside of that lake. But he was a true pro. There was some beautiful acts. There was Aiden and Cam did this amazing number to Baby It's Cold Outside. We love you, Aiden. We can't believe how much you've come out of your shell during this summer. And there was, everyone was just so fantastic. There was a great tribute song to Mary Panciaco. There was some incredible camper dances and gymnastics. There was contortion and singing. There was an act to the Strangers Things. All the junior camp did this awesome dance with all the pool staff. It was such a fun show. It was probably one of the longest talent shows I've ever been to, and we really had to scramble to get to the video and make it all happen. And in fact, we finished free swim, and the troop time they were doing, they were still watching their video. And you know how at the last day of camp, everyone just sort of crowds around the bell? And they says, "Don't ring the bell," and it's a whole thing like that, and people are crying, and people are sad. And it's kind of a fun, a cute thing that happens. But this year, because we had some extra time at the pole, we ended up having this another epic dance party for those last 10 minutes while we were waiting for everybody. And again, it was just something that erupted. That was just something that was magically happened during camp. DJ Shay, who is quite the groovy gal, was really put the tunes to the test and got everyone just dancing and up. And then we had a really beautiful final last moment where all the counselors, they go around, they say something nice, and we do one final day is done. And it's just been one of the best camp years. It was the 50th, so it was an epic thing. But it was just, the counselors were so in sync. The campers were having the time of their lives. And the staff in front, especially Sam, Carrie, and Billy, they really created a special summer this year. It ran so smoothly. It was just, I've done this this is my ninth summer altogether, a couple different eras apart. And I got to say, this was my favorite that I've ever been to. And, I'm sure everyone knows how special this place is and how rare it is that we even get to have a place where we get to be the best versions of ourselves. And it's just, how cool is it that we can just take what we have here and bring it out into the real world? Sometimes you can make great change just by existing as you are. But I'm sad that it's over. I'm already planning for next summer. And I hope you guys have had a really good year. If you're a camper listening, you guys are the reason we do it. If you're a counselor, an assistant, you guys were epic. You really made something special this year. And if you're just a listener from an alum of the past or just a listener, you know how great this place can be and how special it is that we had a good year. So sleep well, FCDC. I am Ty Friedman signing off for the recaps of the year, and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the off season. Sleep well.
All right, so we're back with Aiden and Quinn for the week 6 recap. You guys, how was the final week of camp?
Good.
And what were some things that you remember happening in week 6?
So I got a feathers that's orange because I cleaned up the camp because I told Hillary. I got a bullseye.
That's amazing. Now, is that your first bullseye?
Yes.
Awesome.
Not last year either.
I got a bullseye necklace.
So this was the last week of camp for the whole year. Aiden, you were there for all 6 weeks.
Yep.
What were some of your favorite things that happened at camp all year?
The counselor freestance.
Oh, who won that?
For some reason, Elizabeth got in the heads round even though she was eliminated in the assistants round. And she
got eliminated today.
And she won the freestance.
She did?
Mm-hmm.
For the heads?
Well, no, but she was the champion.
Wow. That's pretty good. What did you have? What was on the menu this week?
Chicken nuggets and smiley fries.
Amazing. That's like what's on the menu every night at our house.
Well, no smiley fries and no dino nuggets.
Yeah, so what you're saying is Cam's cookout was a little bit better
Yes.
than Mom's cooking?
No, it's just the same. I had like 9 dino nuggets and 6 smiley fries, I guess.
Amazing. What were some of your favorite activities this year?
I like theater because that was the head of theater.
That makes sense. who were some of your favorite counselors?
Hillary and Abby.
Hillary and Abby. Nice.
Elizabeth. And Caitlin.
And Caitlin.
Caitlin, Mary, and Elizabeth.
Oh, Freddie. And Ty and Shay.
Love Freddie, Ty, and Shay.
So, guys, are you looking forward to next summer?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to do 6 weeks?
Yes.
Quinny, are you going to do all 6 weeks?
Yeah!
And that's going to be great. All right. Aiden, I heard you were leading the camp out of Sing with off to 4th activity.
Yes.
All right. Why don't you take us out?
Off the 50th activity.
I need to stop whistling like that. I think you have like a whole whistle anyway, so what am I doing here?